Hi, folks. Bob Mannery here. You're listening to A2D Radio, real sports talk radio for the fans, by the fans, no agenda. These guys are the best in the business. Hashtag it. No notes.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to another Saturday edition of the Hooligans. This episode is brought to you by Gibson Mayer LLC, Certified Public Accountants, 301 Oxford Valley Road, Yardley, Pennsylvania, 215-369-3300. This is a special edition. I'm here with Tommy, and I'm here with Ralphie behind the ones and twos. How you guys doing?
Living the life.
Yep.
Let's go.
Got Big Tom in the studio today.
Yep.
Always
Tommy
bigger
boy.
than you, Ralphie. That's all that matters.
This should be really interesting today because Tom and I agree on little to pretty much nothing.
I think we determined about 10%.
Maybe, yeah, about 10%. And Ralphie and I are usually like, I don't know, 50-50, 45,
Yeah,
65,
somewhere
something like
around there.
Yeah, so let's get it going.
Analytic talk.
All right, so let's get it going. Poll question for today. Does a win tomorrow boost your confidence as a Philadelphia Eagles fan, or is the season too much injury depleted to fix around? What do you guys think?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. It keeps your season going because you're mathematically still in it. You got Washington coming up on a Monday where that's a game you could win too. Mm-hmm. Obviously going against Colt McCoy and a backup quarterback. And the way they looked on Thanksgiving, they don't look good.
Right.
So, I mean, you could go win 2 games. I'm not sold on this team going to win 2 games or guaranteeing they can go win 2 games. But you go win 2 games, you get yourself to 6-6. You're probably a game out of the division lead at that point, and you still got, obviously, the Redskins again on your schedule and the Cowboys again. So, yeah, anything can happen. We've seen crazier stuff happen where teams go on little runs. Now, do I think they go on any playoff run or anything like that? Absolutely not. Mm-hmm. But you can get some guys back healthy. You win on Sunday, and maybe you get Jalen and Sidney back and Maddox, and you can get yourself sort of healthy again for that Washington game. And then who knows? Who knows at that point? But yeah, I mean, a win tomorrow still keeps your hopes alive.
Yeah. No, I agree 100%. Win tomorrow definitely keeps our hopes alive. Do I think we win tomorrow? Absolutely. Do I necessarily want us to make a playoff run? As a fan, yes, but as a realist, no. Because I see what's coming out of the draft next year. It's not the best draft ever, but at the same time, you still get to add a top-tier prospect to a team where you know it's going to be a lot better next year. And if you just keep going up the board of the draft, if you keep falling deeper and deeper, you're going to be coming back with almost the same exact team as last year because you're going to be getting rid of a lot of decent pieces on this team because you can't afford them all. So, in my opinion, I think it's too depleted to fix. I really do. And honestly, I just want to get a top draft pick this year. So, and plus, this is a big one. Carson Wentz. I'm going to talk to you about this because Carson Wentz this year has been awful in my opinion.
Awful.
Awful.
I don't know how them words come out of your mouth. Though. Awful.
All right.
Awful's uneducated and just you're on hate mode.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like there's hey, he hasn't played up to what I think he should play at, and then there's the word awful. Like that's an adjective you cannot use to describe Carson Wentz this year. Now you want to say awful Sunday, then I buy all into that. I jump into that Kool-Aid drink, but I am definitely not buying in the awful all year because at the end of the day, numbers don't lie and our eyes don't lie. Yeah. So this is like I said in the video last week. This is the whole fucking team. This isn't just Carson Wentz. This isn't just Fletcher Cox. This isn't 1 or 2 guys. When you get beat 48-7, it's an entire roster issue, okay? And these are just a lot of the same guys that were on this team last year, okay? So you could point fingers at coaches and A, B, C, and D. I'm going to point right at the players because they haven't been goddamn good enough. Now, he has played good enough at times for us to win football games. But either defensively we let us down, there's been times where offensively we let us down, but more times than not, our defense has let us down this year. Yeah, and you're not going to – your narrative changes if this is a 6-4 team. You can't shake your head, Kyle, because if you beat Carolina when a game you're up and you beat Tennessee, what are you right now? You're 6-4. So this whole conversation is a different conversation today, right? Now that's what ifs and what all that kind of crazy shit. But at the end of the day, you're still 2 games where your offense gave you big leads and your defense blew it on you. So that's just factual. His numbers are factual. To say awful isn't fair to him. I'm not like here to stick up for 11. He can't do no wrong. But awful makes it seem like the kid's been bad all year. And that's unfair. 10 months, 11 months after major knee surgery to throw the word awful around. Like, come on. That's an agenda-based comment. And please explain it, because that's got to be agenda-based.
I'll explain it right now. His stats look pretty good. What does he have? 6 interceptions on the year, something like 15 touchdown passes, something like that. Three of the interceptions came last week. All right, what I mean by awful is he has never done anything to help this team win by going down the field at the end of the game.
Oh, that's funny, because the Dallas game, we're down how many points? And we come out like gangbusters in the second half. We tie that football game up twice. Only to have our defense on the next drive. Not be able to get off the field on both drives. It's unfair criticism pointed at one person. You have to point criticism to this football team all around. It's not we talked about it before we came on. Drew Brees at 3 years were like 7-9. They weren't good enough. You would think that, okay, Drew Brees lost it. It's over for Drew Brees, right? But you put some weapons and guys around him get better. Now look at him. Right now, oh, you're right, MVP talk. Well, the same thing goes for Aaron Rodgers. When's the last time Aaron Rodgers has been in an NFC title game? Is that because Aaron Rodgers isn't good enough? Or is it because the pieces around him aren't good enough? It's hard to win Super Bowls in this league, and it's hard to make deep playoff runs. This is 11 men that have to have the chemistry to work well with each other, and I'm going to stick by my statements. When you don't have any OTAs, no all-season workouts with your guys, in the biggest chemistry sport there is, the quarterback position, or position there is in all sports, is a quarterback position where you need chemistry with all your guys. You throw balls before guys are even out of routes, right? So you need the chemistry. Losing all that, it definitely is going to hurt him for this year, because I want this on tape, the awfulness. Because next year, we can't go back on it then. You know what I mean? We can't go back and when he comes out as a world beater next year. Like, I just think this kid gets so much disrespect for a flat-out fucking worker. From you, he has.
Yeah, from me, he has, because it's justified.
What's justified? Awful is never justified in them numbers. Awful in them numbers is never justified. It's agendified. If that's even a word, because it is now.
You had Wendell Smallwood wide open on 3rd and 3, right? And he could have walked into the end zone, all right? He targets in on Zach Ertz almost every single fucking play. I'm sick and tired of it. I either want to get rid of Zach Ertz.
So you're sick and tired of using one of your best weapons.
He uses them every single play. You can't do it. You got to spread the ball out, and he doesn't do it.
So let me ask you a question. After Sunday, when Zach Ertz called one goddamn football, were you yelling that Zach Ertz needs the ball more?
No, because
you absolutely were. You absolutely don't you lie. You absolutely were.
Listen. This is exactly why nothing worked last week, because he was looking for Zach Ertz, but once he knew that they were shutting Zach Ertz down, he couldn't get anything going.
Listen, everything could have worked offensively.
That's all he fucking does.
Everything could have worked offensively last week. You weren't winning that football game because your defense isn't good enough.
Fucking point.
When are you going to point a fucking finger over at the defense over your highest paid?
Hold on.
The highest paid player on this football team has been on a milk carton, but I never hear you say a word about Fletcher Cox. You're stuck on one guy. You've been stuck on one guy since your golden boy won a Super Bowl. You've not been able to take
won a Super Bowl.
You've not been able to take your blinders off since then. Which, okay, so that's fan agenda. Yeah. That's not a realist. You came on this show saying you're going to be a realist about the Eagles. Yeah. And then you call Carson awful, which takes the realism out of everything. No, and terrible. You have your blinders on that is Nick Foles and nothing else matters.
He's the backup right now. Bro, my blinders are off right now.
Point to all these guys are high-paid guys who get more money than Carson Wentz and start calling these guys out to the carpet. And then I will say, okay, then you can criticize 11. Once you criticize everybody else, I haven't heard you criticize nobody else besides coaches or 11.
The reason why I'm criticizing Carson
Wentz. Am I wrong? Somebody out there that knows Kyle, tell me I'm fucking wrong, because I know I'm not.
The reason why I'm criticizing Carson Wentz, especially for this week, is because we knew we had to score points going to the Superdome. We knew that the Saints were going to put up points. They scored 37 points per game going into that game. And we didn't score a single fucking point at the quarterback position.
He blocks for himself, too? He blocks for himself?
He didn't score 1 point. Not even a field goal.
He blocks for himself? I'm just asking a question. He blocks for himself?
All right.
He catches balls by himself. It's his worst game of his career. What else do you want people to say? But if you don't believe this kid had a response in him, then you don't trust the kid from the beginning, and maybe we should trade him for your agenda.
I don't trust him for the rest of the year. Hell no, I don't. I definitely don't.
You don't trust the kid.
He looks scared out there. He lost his balls. He has no fucking balls. Wow. It's like his balls left his sack. Now he's a mangina. That's exactly what he looks like out there. He looks fucking heartless. He looks like he wants to kill more ducks out there. And
he
looks
heartless.
Smile next to his dog.
That's my point with you. He looks heartless. Have you looked at the rest of this football team?
Yeah, I know. It's bad.
He's the only one that actually looks like he gives a shit when something goes wrong.
But he was your MVP last year. He completely dropped
He's
off.
11 months after major knee surgery. Okay. Look at Deshaun Watson in Houston. He's not the same guy he's going to be next year. He's not the same guy. It takes a minute to respond. This isn't Madden where you just go put in a 95 rating and it's Sling City.
He came back week 3. It's what, week 12 now?
You think it doesn't matter?
A little bit. Just a little bit.
You don't missing OTAs doesn't matter?
I said in the offseason the knee injury would be a problem. Everyone's like, oh, I can't wait till he comes back. Yeah,
Why couldn't you wait for him to come back? Of course we can't wait for him to come back.
We rushed him back.
We didn't rush him back.
Yes, we did.
No, he's ready to go.
100%.
You get the kinks out.
There was one show I remember where you were on, I think it was Wednesday or Sunday, where you're like, I would actually hold him until after the bye week. We don't need to rush him back. We bring him back fucking week 3 because the doctor said it's all right. He does not look the same. And if he's ruined, let me tell you something. If he's ruined.
Are you kidding me?
As in damaged goods.
Would you, Kyle, you got to go watch tape then, babe.
I do all the time.
I'm Mr. No-Go watch tape guy. Go watch tape and retell me what your eyes see. Because to say he looks scared, to say he's ruined, to say he's been awful, that's all agenda-based comments. Because it is. Because everybody out there knows who your love affair is. Some moron on YouTube probably agree with you.
Eagles 01 said, I agree with Nitro. Wentz
of course
scared.
He does, because he blows you on your YouTube feed. No. So you ain't going to pull shit on me when I'm on here, because he's an idiot to say he looks scared. When you can't block for a guy, everybody looks scared. Shit. You see Aaron Rodgers when he gets shit up the middle on him, and he can't go nowhere? Everybody looks scared when you're getting hit every goddamn play. Yeah. Okay? Since the week he came in, his ass has been on the turf more than it's been upright. Somebody out there tell me I'm wrong, because I don't use agenda-based shit. I use what my eyes tell me. And to say he's ruined goods, to say he's awful, to say he's scared is biased comments, and it's not fair criticism. You need to criticize this whole football team, because I still have not heard you say that. I've heard you criticize a couple people. Where? When have you tweeted out that Fletcher Cox has been gone all year? When? When have you tweeted out Brandon Graham's been missing? When have you tweeted out Malcolm Jenkins does a lot of talking and less playing? Right? When has all this stuff been tweeted from you?
I said every single week that
you knew I was coming up and in.
Knew it.
You knew I was coming up and in. I'm blocking like the linemen are supposed to.
I knew.
I'm here.
I knew Fletcher Cox every single week. I said he is overpaid. He is not Gerald McCoy. He is not Aaron Donald out there in L.A.
He should be better than Gerald McCoy, but no, he's not Aaron Donald. Completely agree.
I don't think he's better than Gerald
10%.
McCoy. I don't think he's better than Gerald McCoy. I really don't. I think he's an overplayed, not bum, but he's above. I'd say he's good. He's not great. I don't think he's great. I think he's getting paid well above his means, and I just think it was a really bad signing. If you really want to make it like that, because we need to buy some players next year. We really do. We need to bring in Le'Veon, and I think we need to bring back Ajayi. Because if you have a 1-2 punch at the running back position next year,
you can't afford both.
Why not?
I don't know.
Get rid of Peters. Get rid of that cap. Bring in Le'Veon. Bring in Ajayi. You have a 1-2 punch at the running back position. One that could block. Le'Veon's a great run blocker, pass blocker. He's a great he's a great player in general. Why not bring him in, you know?
Well, because I'm looking to address up front. You know what I mean? I'm looking to address the guys up front.
Right.
You know, if we learned anything on how you win in this league, it's pass protection, it's been able to run block, and it's been able to get after the quarterback. And all things that we haven't done well enough this year, right? You know, if you want to look at last year to this year, it's real obvious. We talked about it weekly, but you can't get off the field on third downs. You can't stay on the field on third downs. And the real eye-opening statistic of all of them is 6 turnovers for this football team. So you want to know the difference from last year to this year. We don't create any turnovers. So that's why my focus is far from 11. This is why we have this argument consistently, because my focus is far from him. He's the least of my worries. Okay?
He shouldn't be.
He absolutely should be. He absolutely should be.
Yeah. I mean,
Who's played the best out of this whole football team all year?
In my honest opinion?
Yeah.
Nobody. I think Zach Ertz maybe.
Okay. Well, okay. Take out of Ertz. Who's played the best? Because somebody had to throw him the football.
Yeah, well, he targets him every fucking play. I'd say Zach Ertz and maybe
stats don't lie, Kyle. Stats don't lie. Okay, he's been probably one of the most consistent guys for us. Has he been the guy he was last year? Nobody's saying that, but we sort of expected a little bit of that.
Tom,
okay,
this team is 4-6.
No shit. What am I saying? But you're talking like they're not 4-6. You're talking like they're 1-9. You're talking about he's been playing at a 1-9 level as a quarterback. That's not fair.
No, he hasn't. He's been playing
way
below his MVP caliber.
No, what would you say? No, he hasn't. So that's awful?
Well, I say awful because he hasn't helped us win games at all this year. When he had opportunities to, he hasn't.
What about all the leads he had in football games that the defense blew?
Which leads have he had?
Wow.
Against the Cowboys?
Short memory, babe.
gutless
Short
Cowboys?
memory, babe. Short memory. I mean, let's look at Tennessee. 17-point lead. Did I miss that? Did I
Tennessee
miss
beat
something?
the Patriots.
I don't give a shit who Tennessee beat.
Okay.
I'm asking you, did we not have a 17-point lead?
We did.
Okay, good. And the defense cost that football game on a 4th and 16. Couldn't get off the field. Okay,
Yes.
let's go Carolina.
What did I also say?
Did we have a 17-point lead against Carolina? Did we?
Oh, yeah,
or
we
did we
did.
not?
Oh, yeah, we
okay,
did.
and who blew that football game? Defense again. Again, that's a 6-4 swing. That's 4-6 and 6-4, and you're on your knees for 11.
All right, let me ask you a question. You brought up a good point.
Always do.
17 all right, whatever. 17-0, all right? Yes, the defense gave up that lead, 21 unanswered points. I understand that. But how do you not score more than 17 points in an NFL game consistently? You know, that's the offense.
Because your quarterback has a new offense coordinator, which affects
He was lighting up the whole game, and he disappears out of nowhere.
He disappeared.
He disappeared. He was playing like an MVP caliber player that game. Through 3 quarters. At the end of that game, he was nowhere to be
Kyle,
found.
see, this is the thing you're missing. You're acting like I'm talking about fucking perfection here, right? This is what he thinks I'm talking about. He thinks I'm always talking about perfection and there's never criticism, okay? That's a lie. What I'm talking about is your word awful, okay? Again, I'm going to repeat it again for the family, is agenda-based and not appropriate when you're talking about Carson Wentz. It's not fair criticism. You want to criticize? Criticize. But certain adjectives don't fit what we're talking about right here, and awful is one of them. Okay, you can criticize on there's times this and there's times this. Absolutely. Please, because if you're not criticizing, then we all got blinders on. But at the end of the day, like you've said, to put this all on him, like you have to me, isn't fair.
Right.
Because
he's the quarterback. He's the leader of the ship. If you go down, you're the captain.
Okay.
You know? It's the ship.
I'm not saying he's not the leader of the ship.
Yeah.
But other players have to play well around guys. Other players have to do their jobs for it to be, for the chemistry to be there and the consistency to be there.
Right.
Correct? Mm-hmm. So is it on Carson Wentz that we can't create turnovers?
No.
Okay. So when have I heard the defense has been awful? Because what I've heard here is 11's been awful. 11's been awful. When we blew them leads, it's on him.
When we lost to Carolina, the defense got the brunt of the blame when Carson Wentz had Smallwood wide open. Wide open.
Okay.
Literally wide open.
And that never even
That
comes.
wasn't a dream. That happened.
No shit. But if that never even happens, if you don't blow a big time lead.
Yeah. No, I understand that, but you still had a chance to win the game and you didn't do it. You know, and we're looking for that. We're looking for that clutch QB. Did you see my stat last week? Probably
So now
not.
he's not clutch.
Probably not. You didn't see my stat last week.
So hold on.
All right, he's not clutch.
Oh my goodness. In seriously, 2 years of total football. 2 years of total football. He's not clutch.
He's not clutch.
That's the term. So you're gonna stand by that statement forever. I just want to clarify.
Yeah.
You're standing by that statement forever.
Right now, yeah.
Okay. He's never been clutch at all.
He was. Let me read off a stat right now.
No.
Actually, I have it in my mind. Actually,
Before you mind fuck me.
Yeah.
When was he? Tell me, because last year he wasn't clutch.
Not really. He never had to be. He never had to be.
I can't with you. I can't with you.
Every
wow,
single game.
blinder talk.
Every-
Hashtag blind talk.
Every single game was a blowout. He never had to be clutch. Ever. Name me one game where he was had to be clutch.
I don't
One
know.
game.
I don't know. Rams game looked pretty clutch to me.
That was Foles.
Before he got hurt, Kyle. Okay, but he looked
He was
pretty
going
clutch.
back and forth.
Pretty clutch, though, right? The go back and forth is pretty clutch, right?
Defense on the Rams sucked.
Pretty clutch. So all clutches means is in the last 2 minutes? That's all clutch means? Okay, because he's never had a game. He's never had any drives where he's tied football games up or giving us leads?
He has.
Okay.
But that's not to win the game.
So you need walk-offs? So walk-offs determine clutchness?
Like, let me ask you a question.
Let me ask you a question. Do walk-offs determine clutchness? There's a walk-off.
Yes.
So that's it.
Aaron
so you
Rodgers,
have to walk off games.
Aaron Rodgers
you have to
against
walk
San
off
Fran
games.
was clutch.
So you have to walk off football games.
Pretty much most of the time, yeah.
Okay. So giving your team 38-7 leads isn't clutch.
That's a blowout. That's no pressure whatsoever.
There isn't pressure to start games when it's 0-0? So to go up 7-0 isn't clutch?
There's not.
That's bullshit.
You have
That's
you
bullshit.
have a ton of
that's
time.
That's the most ridiculous narrative I've ever heard in my life.
You have a ton of time.
Because you blow a team out doesn't mean you're not clutch?
You're blowing a team out. You have no pressure.
So who's part of that? So he gets the blame when you lose 48-7, but he doesn't get the credit when you blow teams out 38-7?
No, the whole team gets the blame when you're losing 48-7. But the problem is if you don't score one fucking point in the dome.
That's not the question.
I mean,
when you win game 38-7, there's no clutches.
No.
There's no specialness to you. You're just a guy then.
You're a good team.
Oh, I'm talking about him.
Team.
I'm talking about him because that's where you talk about mostly. So I'm talking about him. When you get big leads in this league and you throw 4 or 5 touchdowns a game and 300+ yards, that's not clutch? That's not good? Somebody please help me.
That's phenomenal. That's MVP type.
Which he was on pace for last year.
That's not clutch.
Jesus, dude. Jesus, man.
You know it was clutch?
What? What was clutch?
Nick Foles in the Super Bowl.
and strip sack.
That was clutch.
Clutch,
That was
right?
clutch.
When's the last time this team had a strip sack? The Super Bowl, Kyle.
Yeah.
Super Bowl, Kyle.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you're playing right into my hands, okay? This defense, and as a team, hasn't made enough big plays to help each other. Carson hasn't made any big plays this year? None at all, Ralphie? None? No big plays? Because according to him, he quit. Did he quit in the Dallas game? Did he quit after halftime in the Dallas game?
Who are we talking about again?
We're talking about the same guy you constantly want to talk about.
Carson.
I'm here for an hour to constantly debate you.
Well, I've been
when
going-
you started
All right.
your show
Well,
with awful, babe. How do you expect me to sit here
'Cause he has
and then you want us to disagree? Because awful, again, is a bad word. People out there tell me, has Carson Wentz been awful or just not? Yeah, he hasn't been great. He hasn't been great. Nobody's going to say
I've
he's been
said
great.
McNabb was awful. That's just the word I use all the time. All right. But the problem is maybe it
Well,
might
then you
have
got
been-
choice. You got a better choice of words then. We got to talk down. We got to get in the Webster's a little bit together and then re-choice our words
Well,
so you don't get attacked.
Well, in my opinion, awful is going from MVP type to maybe average QB.
Average QB 10 months after a major knee injury.
Yeah. Well, he's been on the field for almost 9 weeks now.
That doesn't
9
matter.
weeks,
You're
yeah.
still 11 months after a major knee injury. You're still only 11 months out. You're still not even a full year
But
out.
he was ready to go.
I understand he's ready to go, but
Okay.
if you think missing OTAs and all season workout programs when the quarterback position is all about chemistry and throwing the spots, and you miss that, now you have a new offensive coordinator in the house as well, and you think there's not going to be some timing issues, there's not going to be some things off, then you're crazy. And these are all things that I knew you sort of expected when him coming out to be a little rusty at times, right?
Little.
Come on, Kyle. His numbers speak volumes.
I'm sick of this fan base bringing up numbers. The
Numbers are
They're
numbers.
so deceiving.
They're not
They're so
deceiving.
deceiving. Those numbers are made in not the. I keep bringing up clutchness. They're made in the beginning of the game, the middle of the game, when it doesn't necessarily matter. When we're up 2 scores, when we're down 2 scores, it doesn't matter.
Bro, you all act like this is what I love about people. Did he not bring us back 2 different occasions in that Cowboys game and our defense?
Cowboys suck.
It doesn't fucking matter.
We
It's the
still
point.
lost.
You can't use certain teams aren't good enough. It's the National Football League. It's the most even league in all sports, okay? It's year to year. You don't know what you're getting, right? Year to year, you just don't know in this league, unlike every other league in sports, besides baseball a little bit, right? Besides baseball a little bit. The NFL year to year is why there's so much parity in this league, okay? Because you just don't know. The margin of success or failure is so small in this league. So small, right? How many games have we lost by 7 points or fewer?
A lot.
A lot.
A majority.
Okay, that's the difference from 1 year to last year.
But you're making my point.
No, I'm making my point.
Well, you're
Because
making
you
my
point at one guy when I sat here for a month or two now and then point at this entire roster. Have I not, Ralphie? Have I not? Okay? I told you from day one that this year was a full pass for this kid. And anybody that ain't giving that pass has an agenda or doesn't have a fucking clue. With all due respect to Eagles 01 and some other jabrones, you're clueless if you think it's Madden and it's plug and play. You don't know the sport. You never got tackled, right? You never got helmet to helmet in your life, right? You never went through some of these things. Well, hello, I did, okay? I've been hit, all right? I played with a pro quarterback, all right? I think I have a freaking clue on chemistry in this sport, and chemistry in sports, period. Right? I think I have a clue when all you can read all season is your social media clippings, right? And you ain't going to get a little fat, right? And not put as much work in as you did the year before because you ain't considered a dog. But there's one guy on this football team that you can never question his work ethic, and who is that? Who is that? Who is that? Who?
Carson.
Who?
Carson.
Who?
Carson.
Who?
Carson.
So why, Kyle, I give him a free pass this year is because I know he's in working his ass off early. I know he's trying to fix things, but I also know there's a lot more pressure on him, twofold. One, we're not playing good enough, and two, he's not going to be the guy I expect him to be next year, or he was in his MVP year. You have to factor in the injury. It's not an excuse. It's just the way it is. You have to factor it in a little bit, and I know you do because we've had talks before, you know. And listen, I want you to be critical of him. I'm not.
I'm overly critical.
That's my whole point with him, right? I love it that you're critical because at least I can be like, he's not got blinders on. He's seeing stuff. But you're overly critical of him, which I understand because you expect greatness from him. So when you're not getting it right now, it's hard. But you got to give it time. He's in 2 full essential years at the quarterback position on the hardest offense in all football to learn, the West Coast.
Let me ask you a question. if he goes out there and performs like a duck tomorrow, what do you say the next show? Do you come back and say he still needs another year to get his stuff back?
Oh no, that's determined regardless. I mean, to me, no matter how he plays, and when he's played good, I've even said I expect him to continue to even get better, right? And Ralphie's heard me say that. I expect him to get slowly better here throughout it. Now the Saints game is a bad one, but like I'm not gonna again if he doesn't play well. What are the reasons he didn't play well? Is he getting blown up every play? Does he have time to throw the football? Do we have any run game at all? You got to factor in, man. Okay? You want to know why Jared Goff's so good? You want to know why Aaron Rodgers is having a resurgence this year? Let me be honest with you. You want to know
coaching?
No. You want to know why Drew Brees is playing the way he is? Coaching. Look in their backfields. Yeah. Alvin Kamara, Pimp, Mark Ingram, a Moose Nuck, right? You go over to L.A., you know what you got back there in their backfield. And Aaron Rodgers and Jones finally has his first resemblance of a running game since before Eddie Lacy put on weight. So, what's different from last year to this year is we could flat out run the football last year. Well, we could pound you, which then sets up what? Why does Dak Prescott, even though he stinks, put up numbers last week? You know why? Because Dallas finally said, we got to run the ball, right? Because that sets up what? Play action. It sets up one-on-ones. It makes everything easier. We've been one-dimensional. We've been one-dimensional. Yeah, you can't win in this league one-dimensional.
We were running the ball last week, and they got abandoned. We abandoned it. Josh Adams had a perfect touchdown.
Listen, you abandoned. Lane Johnson said it though, brother. You abandon everything when your doors start getting blown off.
We were down by 10 points.
You ain't never. When you're down by 10, it felt like we were down 48 at that, right? I mean, that game was over.
You were down 24-7 going into halftime.
It was over.
It was over.
So now you have to throw every play. I mean, I think to a man, they know. Like Lane almost made a little jab. Like, we got to run the ball more because
Lane's hurt.
Lane's hurt, and he's playing hurt, and Peters is hurt, and that hurts your line. That hurts Carson's protection. That hurts the ability to run the football. Early on in the year, Kyle, you know what it was? We were hurting ourselves with bad penalties, if you remember. We weren't losing games because we weren't good enough. We were losing games because we weren't disciplined. Yeah. There was a lot of big plays that got called back in Carolina game, other games. Now we're just losing games because we're not good enough. Right. So there was a difference earlier on. Now we're just depleted with injuries, not good enough as a whole, and that's why we're losing games now the way we are. But early on in the year, we were biting ourselves, shooting ourselves in the foot all the time. So, listen, do I agree with you, brother, that he needs criticism at times? Absolutely. You just got to understand where I'm coming from this year, where I'm more of like, I'm just letting him get through it all. Make sense? Like, letting him get more the whole comfortability back. Just to me, it's anything that got out of him good this year was a bonus, just because of knowing the injury and all that.
Right. I think the real problem that I have with this fan base in particular, though, is that after a bad game that Carson Wentz gives, like doesn't play very well, they blame someone else other than him. If Donovan were here, he would get all of the blame. Literally all of the blame. And that's the problem I have with the fan base. The fan base loves Carson Wentz so much that even when he plays like a piece of shit, they still want to blame someone else, like the coaching staff, the defense. They never blame him, ever. And that's the big problem I have. The fan base needs to take their blinders off and judge everyone equally on this team. They need to. Or else it's just going to turn into a shit show, especially if Carson Wentz is never the same player ever again.
So Wilson saying Saints were under 500 for 3 straight years. Breeze stinks. Rob T says some people hate this guy, some people hate that guy. Dawn said, Wilson says it was 24-7. We abandoned the run. Rob T says Josh Adams only gets 6 to 7 carries a game. Ridiculous. Yep. And that's right, brother. And it's even harder to do that when you're down 24-7. So, I think early on in football games, we need to establish on it. I feel like we've been a little too pass happy, and we put too much on his shoulders. And I still say this soon back because it's still under a year back. So I just think we put a little bit too much on his shoulders that I don't think we were expecting to have to do. Like, obviously we're not expecting for Sproles to be out all year. We're not expecting for Ajayi to be out all year. So, like, them little factors definitely play a part.
We have some people in the comment section over on YouTube saying put Foles in.
Who?
Seamus McBuddy.
Why?
Answer why. He wants to know why you'd put Foles in over Wentz right now.
Why? You need to see a psychiatrist? What you need to go to Markel's shooting doctor? What do you need? Because you're a problem. You sound like Bart Scott, who got hit in the head too many fucking times. Okay? I mean, knock it off. Knock it off. You're going to go backwards. You don't know who he is. You don't know who he is by now. You got a franchise quarterback. You fucking idiot. You don't go backwards when you get when you have your franchise guy here. It's stupidity. You want to criticize, but you're going to go back? Are you okay?
Well, number one, you can't go back even if you wanted to because he's not here next year. And number two, you have to put all the
true.
Look
at you. Look at you. Get in here. Get in here.
Well,
look at him. Look at him.
All right.
You all look at him. He's growing.
He's growing up.
He's growing up. He's growing up. I love you.
Yeah, Foles is not going to be here next year. I love Foles and what he did for the Super Bowl.
Me too. Me too.
But listen, that is my guy. But at the same time, Carson Wentz is the franchise. All right, and the reason why I give him so much criticism is because if he plays like this going forward, it's going to be bad. And I really want him. I want to see him improve in the offseason. I want to see him back to his MVP caliber form. And he needs to really sit down and focus on the fucking future and not like shooting geese and all this shit.
I don't care what he shoots.
I do.
But he's the first guy in the facility. You know that.
Yeah.
So you know he works hard. So like you can deal with the goose hunting.
Yeah.
Because you know he's working every day. You know he set the tone last year when guys like Rodney McLeod when Darby first came here, he's like, shit, man. He's like, him and Nelson are coming out sweating at 4:30 in the morning, 5 in the morning. They're already working. I feel like I got to put more work in. And he saw more guys start to do that. Like, listen, it's Carson Wentz this year. Any of his struggles at times aren't because he's not working. If anything, he's probably overworking. Mm-hmm. And that's just the kind of dog he is. And that's why I expect, not saying we'll talk about predictions whenever you want to, but not saying we're definitely winning this football game, but I expect the response from him this Sunday.
And listen, guys, like everyone knows, well, not everyone, but I'm a diehard Eagles fan. Literally diehard. Like, when I was growing up, before we won the Super Bowl, there have been times where I've argued with my family because they would want to go out and be like, no, I'm watching the game, and then we get into big arguments. Now, my problem is that I will be going to this game tomorrow. I go to almost every single game. I will be sitting out there in the cold. Do I think we're going to win tomorrow? No. I don't think we're going to win tomorrow. I just think the team is way too depleted. But I will still be going. I'll still be sitting out there because I love this team so much. And it pains me to see them in this situation. It really does because they're just not a good football team. And a year, not even a year, 9 months after the Super Bowl, you wouldn't think you'd be talking like this.
Nope, I don't think we would be expecting that conversation. I think all three of us, as a man, didn't expect this to happen. Yeah. Like Wilson saying, it's just a bad year, guys. Jesus Christ. Yeah. And he's talked about it. I know we'll talk about it tomorrow morning on Agree Disagree. Just all the things that went right last year are not going right this year. But you're going to find out what fight you have in some of these dogs tomorrow. Because, like we were talking about, Kyle, there's still a lot of guys that are part of that run that are on this football field tomorrow. And we need a lot of them to show up. Yeah. We're depleted in our secondary, which means our front seven needs to create pressure. Mm. We have to get to Eli Manning, and we need to create some turnovers. But I think we win tomorrow. I think we win like 34-28. I think we get over 30 tomorrow. I think they're going to score points too.
I will address this right now. The reason why I don't think we'll win tomorrow is because I know the kind of QB that Eli Manning is, and I know what kind of secondary we don't have right now. Eli Manning throws slants every single drive, and it killed us last year on our Super Bowl team. It completely destroyed us. He threw it for like over 400 yards, I think, at MetLife Stadium last year before Christmas. And I just don't think we're going to be able to put up with that. Not only do I think we're going to lose this game, I think we could lose this game by 10 points. I don't see how we win this game. I don't even know how we're favorites. I think this team, I'm not going to say they're giving up. I'm just saying that they're not good. They're not good at all. And I hate being negative like this, but when I see a team that isn't good, I don't want to put any I don't want to put any more chips in my basket or bread in my basket. I just want to prepare for next year, get ready for next year, because even if this team somewhat did make a run, I'd be happy about it. But then you run into the Rams, you run into the Saints, you run into the Chiefs. If you even get there, it's no way in fuck.
Yeah, but isn't that all? But I mean, regardless, right? Like, when do you still want to be in a divisional game in the playoffs, though?
Yeah, I do.
Like, what I mean? Still, don't you want that? Like, I mean, I want that because I still have young players in a lot of spots here, and I think getting in the dance is always a good thing. You know what I mean? And maybe it can do some confidence for the next year or vice versa. But if there's a chance to get in the dance, I always want to be a part of it.
Well, my friend texted me. He said, he's a really big Eagles fan like myself. He's actually from New York, so he hates it even more because Giants fans say, hey, how are your Eagles doing? But he texted me the other day, and he's so upset with this team this year that he actually texted me word for word and said, if this was a fluke, I would rather give back the Super Bowl than to win another one in 50 years. Like, he would rather have a dynasty than win one fluke Super Bowl. Because he sees this as, if we don't at least win the division, that's an embarrassment. That's what he views it as. And to be honest with you, I'm not going to say I completely agree with him, but I see where he's coming from. I really do. Because
I would never trade it back.
I wouldn't trade.
Yeah,
I
I
wouldn't.
can't.
No, I wouldn't trade it back either. That's where I disagree with him. But to say that it was a fluke and we don't even win our division the year after the Super Bowl, it is kind of embarrassing.
Is it a fluke though? I mean, we talk about the Patriots when they first started their run. You know, they went 9-7 the following year. They didn't make the playoffs. So I think some of it is the first time you win it.
Then one back to back.
Like the first time, the first time you win it, I think, you know, part of your off season is, you know, like I said, you're reading all your social media clippings. You're on Kimmel. You're here. You're there. Your book tours. You're all over the place. And now, you know, you have to learn how to being able to manage your time and still be able to get your work in and get better. And I think that's something that this team can learn from last year to this year in off seasons is saying, okay, we see the difference from 2 years ago and what happened this past year. So now, you know, now I know what I need to do in the off season to get myself ready to go. Right. And I think that's some of the things that we're seeing this year is one, injuries piling up because one, it's a long season, right? You know, you go deep into the playoffs, you go to the Super Bowl, you're playing the most amount of games out of anybody. And we paid the price for it a little bit, did we not? You know, Alshon came back from an injury. Obviously, Carson was hurt. You know, and there's other guys, you know, that have been banged up all year.
Yeah, Gongo's on YouTube said I was worried about becoming like the 03 Bucks, win the Super Bowl and then disappear for 20 years.
Well, no, because I mean that team didn't have a franchise quarterback.
Yeah, they had Brad Johnson.
Yeah. So I mean you have to factor that in. Like I have the utmost confidence that we'll make a deep playoff run again. You know, in Carson's career, just because I have faith in him and I hope to have faith in that Howie can draft well and continue to put the right pieces around them too. You know, that's a big part of it. Like we talk about, we need a running game.
Yeah.
You can't win in this league one-dimensional.
And that's why I'd bring back J.J. because he's a Pro Bowl talent. Yeah, he gets hurt a lot, but, you know, if I'm going to sign him to – you'd get him a lot cheaper now. You really would. You wouldn't have to overpay for him. You'd bring him back. He's already here, and I say you sign one more studded running back.
Or you just finally draft the guy. You draft the guy in the second or third round. You know, you see guys all the time
Seriously, yeah.
You see guys all the time second-round picks or late first guys or whatever that come in and are successful right away. You know what I mean? So – you know, it doesn't have to be you go out and sign Le'Veon. Like you know, like Kyle said, you could just, hey, 1 year deal Ajayi. You know what I mean? And then
franchise tag him.
Yeah, because you don't want to pay him that much after.
That's a lot, yeah.
So I mean, you could probably get him on a year deal though, because it's a prove it deal. So you know, there's a lot of that on this team where it's prove it deals. But I have no problem with bringing him back on that kind of deal.
Yeah,
not at all.
Not at all. We've actually agreed a lot in this last 15 minutes.
Yeah, we're back.
Yeah,
we're back.
We are back to something. Oh yeah, prediction time. I think I already said mine. What do you think, Ralphie?
I have us winning 27-17.
27-17.
Yeah.
How about you?
34-28.
34-28. Okay, I will say, unfortunately, guys, the Giants win this game 30-17. I see our offense. I don't know how we win this game. I really don't.
Well, I think you got to look at the defense on why we won't win it.
They have too much talent on the offensive side of the ball. We have no defense. They have Shepard, OBJ.
Evan Ingram's back.
Barkley. Saquon Barkley.
Yeah.
Yeah, guys, we're not winning this game. I'm sorry.
I agree with Will. So I think we're going to play hard the rest of the year. Listen, I think they're going to definitely score points on us and do a lot of things they want to do because of our secondary. But you got to hope, and where I'm putting my eggs at is that we can get enough pressure on Eli to help our secondary out tomorrow. Mm-hmm. You know, and that's up to Jim Schwartz, and it's a guy I always point fingers at, Fletcher Cox. You know, you get Jernigan back. I'm sure he's not going to get 50 snaps tomorrow.
But at least it let Fletcher breathe, though, a little bit.
Yeah, and you get another pass rush up the middle, which has been our big issue this year. Is we get no pressure up the middle from our front four at all. Our tackles have got no pressure all year, so you need some of that. And you know, Brandon Graham would be love to see you Sunday.
Yeah.
You know, for somebody to get like a strip sack or, you know, we got to recover a couple fumbles. But, no, I still think we can win this game because let's not act like the Giants are coming in and they're fucking world beaters either here.
Yeah, but they're kind of hot.
No, they're kind of hot, and they beat the Niners and blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? Like, I get it. Like, they're playing better football, but I'm not like – they're not coming in where I'm scared of them. Like, I'm scared of our injuries and how that plays a part in this football game. Yeah. But I'm not scared of their defense or – you know, whatever, scared that we can't outscore them. I mean, if we're getting into a shootout, you know, I would hope with our weapons that we can score as much as they can score.
Yeah, we actually have a Cowboys fan in the chat right now saying
Coming out of hiding.
they were like, "Oh, you're a fluke, you're a fluke." Well, I'll talk like a Cowboys fan right now. I mean, I'm not gonna ring check anybody, but at the same time, listen, we do have that one Super Bowl. You guys have 5, understandable. I'm not taking anything away from you. I'm not the kind of guy that says you haven't won one in 23 years because you still have 5 Super Bowls. They're never going away. But I want more Super Bowls. All right, so I want to see what this team can do in the offseason to make us Super Bowl contenders again. And I want us to get up to the Cowboys one day so we can talk shit back to you guys. That's what I want, all right? I'm just sick and tired of wanting to be entertaining. I'm just sick of that. I want to be winners now. I want us to be every single year in the conversation like the Patriots are, all right? And this team right now is not in that conversation. So in my honest opinion, I'm not going to say I want to lose out. I want to win as many games as possible. But what I'm saying is this team isn't good enough probably to win. I think we're going to end the season 7-9 this year. If I'm being, that would get us what, number 10 in the draft, number 11. In the draft?
It just depends. But yeah, I mean, I don't. Like I said, I'd much rather win a division and get into the playoffs than
Just get me to the playoffs,
than
please.
get an 8 difference of a pick.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'd much rather get in there and just have some hope. And just be like, okay, as bad as we played and all the injuries we had, we were still tough enough to get in.
Mm-hmm.
Do I think we're going to? No, I don't think we're going to. But it all depends. Like, again, it all depends you win this Sunday and how many guys can you get back in this secondary.
Mm-hmm.
Can you get Maddox and Mills and Jones? Everybody hates Jalen Mills, but fucking need him now, don't we?
Pretty good right
don't
now.
we? You idiots out there that were okay with him being out. I remember all you morons, right? Oh, thank God. Thank God, dude. He's a legit corner in this league. You can't lose guys.
He gave up a lot of yards, but he never gave up any TDs.
He tackles. He plays. He's a great red zone corner.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's really where he gets his money. To me, he's a red zone guy because he's bigger and physical down there. But then you get some of these guys back from Monday night against the Redskins, and you beat them. I mean, you're 6-6. You're essentially probably a game out at that point. I mean, why not? Why would you? Why would you want to lose? Now if we lose to the Giants, and I'm right with Kyle.
Yeah.
Like we lose to the Giants, and it's a wash, it's a wrap, and let's just lose out. Not try to, not going to try to lose out. But okay, let's lose as many games as we can now, and look for a higher pick. But with still mathematically in it, and a lot of things in front of us still, I don't want to buy into that yet.
Yeah.
I can buy into it Monday morning or 4:30 tomorrow, but not yet. I'm not there yet. I want to win this football game. And I want to still have some hope just of winning the division. You know what I mean?
Right.
I don't expect us to win a Super Bowl or nothing.
Exactly.
But let's show some toughness. That's what I want out of this team. Show some resiliency.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a bad year. Injuries have killed us. We all know. We're all watching. you know?
No, and people were telling me, we still want to be the class of this division. We still want to win it. I'm like, well, this division sucks. All right? So you could possibly win this division at actually 8-8. You probably could win this division at 8-8 the way things are going. So are we out of it? No. But like I said, I don't see it.
Well, so when did I start talking draft picks? I said I'm not buying into that game. I want to win a division, okay? And if we beat the Giants and we're right in it, we can go beat the Redskins, and now we're talking.
Yeah.
But if we lose to the Giants, it's over. I'm not going to talk draft picks yet, but it's essentially over. No, I don't want to talk draft picks. I agree with you, Will. 33% of first-round picks don't succeed. I'm right there.
Right.
Michael DeAndrew says Giants can't even bomb a season correctly. Eagles are banged up bad.
True.
I still think the Eagles are better. So
yeah, but the problem with the Giants are they just need one QB, and nobody's picking Herbert in the top 5. So if he's going to slide to them regardless. So they don't care about winning. It's there's that.
John Skeel says Nigel needs to make some plays.
Yeah, where's he been?
He's been on a milk carton. Yep,
Yeah.
another milk carton talk.
Maybe
I didn't just say that,
maybe got
Will.
arrested again.
I said I would buy into it if they lost against the Giants. Re-listen, because you don't listen.
Yeah.
Typical you, not listening to me. Bree Batty says, beat the Giants and Washington. Dallas loses to the Saints, and we're tied for first.
Well,
that is very possible.
Well, Dallas is
Absolutely.
going to lose to the Saints. They're going to lose to the Saints. If they don't lose to the Saints, this is the most rigged shit I've ever seen in my life. There's no way they don't lose to the Saints. It's at Dallas, I think.
Yeah, it's at Dallas.
But that's a dome type situation right there, and
Yeah, it still fits into what they do.
exactly. So there's no way that the Cowboys beat the Saints, and if they do, then it's a wrap. So what else do you want to say?
Parker's talking about our draft needs. Save it, Mikey. Save it, Spidey. Not yet.
No, I want to hear it. Mike, what do you got to say about the draft? Because I want to see if we're on par with something. So yeah, bring that up.
Jaleel Harris says if we lose, we're tied for last. Yep.
Yeah.
And if we win, we could essentially be, what, a game out of first?
Yeah, it's a game out of first.
Right? Yeah. If we win and well, the Cowboys don't play. They play Thursday. So
Yeah.
if we win, what are they, 6-5?
It'll be 6-5.
And
If
we'd
we
be
win
5-6.
this,
Yep. So you're right there. I mean, that's why I don't want to give up on this season yet, because you can still win a division. But you were talking about, like, to the guys taking shots, like, oh, it was a fluke, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Well, how much does it show about the character of our team with all the injuries again, but we get through and win a division?
Yeah.
Like, doesn't that give you so much? I'd rather pick 20th,
Yeah,
that's
right?
a lot of confidence.
I'd rather pick 20th going into the next year knowing that I got some fight on a bunch of stuff. I still got dogs on this team. Than this team fucking tank it, right, and quit on us, right, when we're not quitting on them. And then talking, I don't want to be talking draft ever. You know me. There's enough draft talk with the Sixers for 5 fucking years. I'm drafting out. I don't care about the draft. Because if you're good and your player personnel guys are good and them guys do with their jobs, I don't care where we're picking. Because you can get Pro Bowl players in the 3rd round if you do your homework right. So picking top 10 does nothing for me. Like, you can get just a good player at 21 or 22 or 25 or Nick Chubb late in the 1st round, right?
Yeah.
Look pretty good, right? And then who did Patriots pick
Sony
again?
Michel.
Sony Michel before the little knee injury looked pretty good. I mean, they're late 1st round picks, so it don't matter.
We get another second, right? Because
We have 2 seconds.
The Lamar Jackson pick.
Yeah, we have 2 seconds.
2 seconds.
That's good.
2 seconds. So I mean, like, I'm not, as long as you draft well, I don't care where you're at. So, look, I think me and a bunch of guys talked about this last year when Carson went down, right? It was just win this week. Right? Just win this week and give me hope for another week. And then all we kept doing was winning them weeks, right? And that's all I'm asking for now.
Yeah.
Now, it's a different scenario, obviously, right? It's not to get to a Super Bowl. It's a win a division, but win me right now. Because if you can win some games, week 16, when you see the Rams, right? It might be resting starters talk for them. Where you can go into LA and it might be an easier game.
I don't know, because now they're playing for the 1 seed. And
Well, of course, but
tiebreaker.
Of course, I either hope the Saints start losing, not against the Cowboys, but either the Saints start losing or Rams cough up a game or two where they're at the point where it doesn't matter at that point.
Yeah.
We got more people. Will says winning Super Bowl never a fluke. It means guys came together and accomplished a goal.
Right.
Completely agree. I don't buy into the fluke talk. I was referring to the guy saying it was a fluke because you're not good the next year. No. Like, we were the best team in football last year. Nobody can run from that.
Well, I will say something. I'm not going to
Haters bring that up against us. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm not going to use the word fluke, but I will say we had the matchups. We definitely had the matchups. We had Matt Ryan in the cold. We had Case Keenum.
But we had the matchups before in the past, and we didn't win.
Do you think we would?
You know what I mean, though? Right, Ralphie? We've had Tampa coming in the freezing temperatures.
Yeah.
JoJo Vicious. So we've had the matches before and weren't good enough to win them.
Let me ask you guys a question, though. Serious question. If we play the Saints, do we win the NFC Championship game? And if we play the Jacksonville Jaguars in the Super Bowl, do we win the Super Bowl?
Yeah, I think the team we had and the way we were going, and nobody was beating us.
Okay.
Because we were buying into everything. I mean, we believed so much in the
we
guy
did.
next to us. It was like nobody's business. Lenny Speed says that star is shining at the top. Wilson says, bottom line, if you want to move up in the draft, you can. Who cares? You root for wins or you're a scumbag. James Englefield, we need to learn what it takes to be a champion. As terrible as this season is, I think it was needed in order for us to get back.
That's a good comment.
And that's sort of what tied into the Patriots thing a little bit, where they never did it before. So how do you deal with being the best in the world? How do you deal with everybody patting you on the back and saying, yo, you're the best? You're the best. Your family telling you, your friends telling you, everybody, but then still have the motivation to get up and go put your work in.
Victor, I'm not trying to be negative. I'm just trying to talk facts.
That's why I'm here, Victor, because we're still here.
Yeah.
We're still in this race. We're depleted. We all get it. But there's enough playmakers still on this football team to go win a football game tomorrow.
There
all
is.
right? And show me you didn't quit on us. Show me tomorrow that what I saw Sunday was just you getting your ass kicked and not a quit job.
Yeah.
And that's what you're going to show me at 1 o'clock tomorrow. By 1:15 tomorrow, I'm going to know how much fight you have. Or at least a better idea of it.
Yeah, in 15 minutes, yeah.
In 15 minutes, I'm going to know if you come out fighting.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at every man on this football team. My high-paid guys, some of my milk carton defensive guys, because there's a lot of them. Like Malcolm Jenkins, just shut the hell up.
Yeah.
Like, all you do is talk. When have you had a turnover all year?
Hasn't.
When have you made a big play?
I will say he has been our best player on defense.
And that's not saying a lot.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
He has been our best player, but nobody's played well defensively.
Yeah.
Fletcher Cox completely disappeared.
I mean, guys, I tell guys on YouTube, I was arguing with it a couple weeks ago, go look at the numbers.
Yeah.
There isn't any.
No.
Yeah.
$100 million. There's no numbers.
And everyone wants to blame Jim Schwartz, and he gets some of the blame. I understand that, but at the same time,
he's never exotic. He never changes anything up, so he gets blamed. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But he doesn't have the talent to do what he wants to do, so he puts them back 15 yards. He puts the cornerbacks 10 to 15 yards back to try to help him cover the guy because they can't go man to man because they suck. I mean,
and even when we could go man to man, he refused to do it enough. I mean,
yeah.
he doesn't change stuff up. I don't think he brings enough pressure at times.
He used to do the wide 9. I don't know why he's
doing the wide 9.
Still doing it.
But the whole fact of the wide 9 is you need your tackles to create the pressure.
Yeah.
Because now your DNs are so far away, right? That you need your tackles to
clog the middle up.
To collapse the pocket so your ends get easy sacks.
Yeah.
But when you tackle, can't get pressure against me and you, well, this is where we're at. Yeah. So there's been zero. I mean, Drew Brees had all day. Me and you could have hit Kamara on a couple balls. You know what I mean? I mean, Drew Brees had all day to throw. That's just one example.
But Drew Brees is lighting it up. Though.
Go through the whole year, though.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just not the Saints game. It's week in, week out. There's zero pressure on the quarterback.
Well, look at the Panthers game, for example. We blitzed all the way into the fourth quarter. Mm-hmm. Like, Jimmy was – I think that was the first time I seen Schwartz bring blitzes all game.
And then he played prevent.
And then in the fourth quarter, he just laid off.
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know. You make a good point. But it's just – I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Michael DeAndre says if the Giants can win 2 Super Bowls, the Eagles can definitely win another.
It's a little it's a little different. They won it at 9-7 and 10-6. But who asked that question? Or said that? It was
Michael DeAndrea.
All right, they had a team. All right, we don't necessarily have a team right now. They had a running game. They had a defense. They had a QB. They had wide receivers. We don't have a defense. So if you wanted to go on a run and beat the Saints and Rams, that would be pretty much impossible right now because you can't replace all these guys.
You were just saying that you could do it again. You could win it again, not this year.
Yeah,
but you could win
no,
another.
I think he was trying to refer to the Giants winning at 9-7 and 10-6, and that's why I brought.
No, he was just saying that we can win another one. Like he was just mean.
No, I think we're gonna win another one eventually, but this year, no.
No, he doesn't mean this year. No, he doesn't mean this year.
It's not the window.
Kevin Johnson said we can win the East at 9-7 or 8-8. Anything can happen in the playoffs. Spot on, Kev.
That's what I'm saying. Just get in there.
Lane Johnson, diehard Eagles fans, just get it done. Yeah, he's saying diehard Eagles fan, just get it done. Yup, absolutely. Yeah. Terry Healer, even if you win the division, the Birds have no chance of advancing against the Rams or Saints. Okay, so you just call it quits then, Terry? Because that's not how I operate. Yeah. I always want my shot. Even though I know I might not win that game, I still want to play football as long as I can play football for it. Yeah. I mean, that's just a part of being a fan. Why would you not?
Jay the Goat said, next man up mentality. What man?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What man?
Practice squad players.
Mailman.
Yeah.
Lanny Speed says, now what happens if you all lose the Giants tomorrow? What do you all say? Well, I think we made that clear, Lanny. We got to repeat that, my brother, but it was pretty clear that you can bow tie that rap.
Yeah.
You know, bow tie that present.
If you're not good enough to beat the Giants at home, you're not good enough to beat anybody. It's that simple.
Terry Healer, too many injuries, and Wentz is looking over his shoulder. Who's he?
That Foles.
Who's he looking over his shoulder? You fucking put the meth pipe down, babe. You're looking over his shoulder. Are you fucking guys okay? Look, who's he looking over his shoulder at?
Listen.
Besides his wife,
guys,
or Trouty on the sidelines, who's he looking over his shoulder at?
Guys, I'm the biggest Nick Foles fan here, probably in Philadelphia. This guy's not going to be here next year.
Looking over his shoulder.
He's the franchise quarterback. Like, I mean, he's definitely not looking over his shoulder. Now, do I think Foles would play better than Wentz did a couple weeks ago? Maybe. But, I mean, it doesn't matter because Wentz is the future. So
I just can't.
Gotta move on.
What up, Jamesy? Chiming in. Dawn says, I still think there's an internal cancer. If they all show up and do their jobs, we win fundamentals. Let's hope so.
Well, who's the internal cancer?
Yeah, well, I don't know. Michael DeAndre says the Eagles aren't losing tomorrow. They're going to go into Dallas tied up for first. You watch. I love it. I love it, brother. I got hope in it. Matt Kelly says, why can't Wentz and our offense be high power like KC and LA? We've got the weapons.
Why can't it?
Well, Matt, when we have no running game and you're one-dimensional, it's hard to be that. Make sense?
Yep.
You got to be two-dimensional in this league. Both teams you talked about have stud running backs.
Yep.
Both of them. Kareem Hunt, Todd Gurley.
Yep.
James Tatum, I think we can win this game, but our front seven is going to have to get dirty. And that's what we've been talking about, James.
They had to get dirty the whole fucking year. They haven't been doing
it all year, but they always get pressure on Eli, though,
Yep.
Kyle, for whatever reason.
Yeah,
so you got to hope that some guys show up. Terry Healer says, not over his shoulder mentality. Idiot. What is that? Well, you said the comment. What are you talking about? You said look over his shoulder. At what? Mentally.
No, he meant Foles. Definitely meant Foles.
What do you mean mentally look over your shoulder? What does that mean? Can somebody pull me out? Can somebody Google that? What does mentally looking over your shoulder mean?
Like he's in the back of his mind, like there's a place in the mind for the person that he's thinking about.
What's he talking about? His dog's at home? What is he mentally looking over his shoulder
His
at?
dog's not smiling.
If you want to talk about, like, mentally with the knee and stuff like that, it's a different story. But you said looking over his shoulder.
Yeah.
You said it.
Yeah.
So I asked you to what? And I could call you to the carpet. You're going to call me an idiot now. You got to at least spell idiot
One
right.
thing I will say, guys, get ready for this. Get ready for this tomorrow because it will happen. I know this crowd. If Wentz doesn't play well, there will be boos. 110%. Because this crowd is so impatient. Even if we won a Super Bowl, they know who won the Super Bowl for us, and they're going to be like, they're going to boo.
What are we going to boo? If
They're going to boo.
To boo who? Just boo him? Why are we still stuck on booing him? I don't understand.
No, maybe not directed towards them, but they're going to boo in general.
No, if you ain't playing good football, we better boo.
Yeah.
I don't think we put skirts
think
on.
it's him, though? You'll think that he thinks that they'll boo him? Like when he's walking off to the sideline?
I don't know. I mean, he's not against a boo. I mean, nobody in this town ever against a boo.
Yeah.
But, I don't even want to think about losing this football game tomorrow. I don't even want to get that in my head. I don't even want to go down that road.
No.
Because then things just get up.
The Giants are like the worst team in the league. Like if we lose to them at home, that's really fucking bad, guys. That's really bad. Yeah. They beat Nick Mullins and they beat Tampa Bay, who finally showed their true colors.
Bree Batty says, you guys think we messed up by giving Grow the job over Deuce? It looks like it.
Yeah.
But it was all a trickle-down effect on what happened. I mean, we all know what happened. DeFlippo would have been the offensive coordinator, but Frank Reich was still here because McDaniels took the job in Indy. So Frank was still going to be the offensive coordinator. DeFlippo goes takes the offensive coordinator job somewhere else.
In Minnesota.
Now you lose him, right? Yeah. And then boom, Franco takes the job in Indy, right? And now you're left between Grow and Deuce. And, you look at your wide receivers last year, they had a good year, but Grow's an idiot. So, Mike Grow's always been an idiot.
I was telling
his family tree's bad.
I was telling Tom before the show, you know what I would do? I would demote Mike Groh back to what he knows best, wide receivers, and I would bring in Gary Kubiak, one-time Super Bowl champion. I would bring him in as an offensive coordinator. That's what I would do to coach with Doug Peterson.
Yeah, James.
I'll bring Chip back as an offensive coordinator.
Tell each I would too.
James Edfield says, do you think we need a new offensive coordinator? Yes, I think we all agree there, brother. Yeah. We all do. James Wilder, I think Josh Adams can revive our running game a little. I like what he did. The last couple weeks. So, I mean, hopefully, but – you got to get a lead to be able to run the football.
Yeah.
And, you got to be able to run the football early on at times, too, so that you have play action off of it and some of the things that we like to do. Mm-hmm. You want to run a read option passes, but if you can't run the football, nobody respects the run. Mm-hmm. So your read option throw doesn't do anything for you.
No.
You know what I mean? So you got to be able to get some big runs here, and it's up to this offensive line to come to play tomorrow.
Exactly. No, 100%. I just like I said, I'll be at the game tomorrow, so I'll be sitting there in the cold, the rough cold, maybe watch us get blown the fuck out to the Giants. But hopefully that's not the case, because I want to live to fight another day.
Yeah, I think we win tomorrow. Rocco Regalbuto, how about the offense coordinator understands an offense and how to use his talent? Yeah, that'd be nice because he has no clue. And James Tatum says, what's Wentz's number one problem? Well, to me, it's just –
I think he's nervous right now.
To me, it's chemistry.
Yeah. I think he's nervous. It's not because of the crowd or the social media or whatever. I just think he's nervous that his offensive line is just so bad that he's constantly looking over his shoulder. Maybe that's what the guy meant by mentally looking over his shoulder, like the offensive line. As a QB, you need.
He might have. He's probably gone now after the hammer job.
Yeah, but as a QB, you need to know how your offensive line is playing. And if you can use your wheels, use them. And he hasn't used his wheels, so. I mean, he really has to come to play tomorrow. He needs to know situational football like he hasn't the whole year, and he needs to play perfect. He needs to play a perfect game.
Oh, James Tatum, will Wentz ever return to 2017 form? Absolutely.
Maybe.
That's my opinion.
Maybe.
Terry, I don't know what that means. Wow, looking, I don't know, IER his shoulder. I don't know, Terry. Bill Middlebrook says they made Wentz a pocket passer. He has concrete shoes on and doesn't run.
Well, that's what we were talking about in the offseason. Everyone's like,
"Oh no, Carson doesn't run."
He doesn't really. No,
man.
He doesn't. I'm being honest.
But
like,
guess what? If he was running a lot, what would all you be saying?
He's going to get hurt.
He needs to stop running.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like, do you want him to get through this year just healthy and so we can have a full off season? Yeah.
Well, now, yes, because we're not good.
I mean, I don't need him to run. I need him to throw the football.
Like Aaron
I
Rodgers.
need him to move in the pocket.
Like Aaron Rodgers is really hurt right now, but he's playing because their team has hope. I don't get that. Like, he's been hurt since week 1. Aaron Rodgers has been playing the whole season hurt.
Yes, James, I am the best in the business. James Tatum.
James Tatum.
You're welcome. Terry, looking over his shoulder. Why are we back to him looking over his shoulder?
Because I brought it up.
I just don't know where he's looking at. Somebody tell me where he's looking at. I don't know where he's looking at. Michael DeAndre, he doesn't run because the play calling doesn't allow him to because of the injury. I agree with that a lot. Moving around the pocket, yeah, but I think they're just trying to protect him and keep
running
him,
away from
keep
pressure
him
has nothing to do with the play calling. Like, when you know there's a linebacker coming at you or a lineman coming at you, you run away. It's that simple. And he hasn't done it. He's just taken sacks. He hasn't even thrown away the ball. He's either fumbled the ball or taken a sack. Fucking horrible.
We'll see how
time.
he responds tomorrow because I think he responds big time. Terry says Wentz not mentally over his shoulder. Oh wow, we're really on this shoulder, overlooking shoulders right now. James Edgefield says Wentz is just pressing. He missed the opportunity to play Super Bowl. I think he's pressing. And I think like they said, the all-season stuff definitely plays a part.
Yep. No, he definitely could be pressing. I like that comment a lot. He's trying to overplay his means, and that's overplaying MVP caliber season. So we'll see what happens. Join us on the other side of the Hooligans. We'll be back after the break. And, yeah, we'll talk more Eagles, Sixers, Flyers, and I guess Phillies.
Guys, and this is brought to you by our doc. You got to make him yours. Specialized Physical Therapy, located at Cherry Hill, Princeton, Burlington, New Jersey. Find them on the web, specializedphysicaltherapy.com. Terry, I can read, Terry. You freaking speaking Ibonics to me, babe. I don't know. This is like Webster's 2.0 to shit you're writing. I don't know what you mean about him looking over his shoulder. At what? You can't look over your shoulder mentally. I don't know what that means. Your mental side's right here. So how are you looking over your shoulder at your mental? I don't know. So you come in the studio and we can talk about what I can't read or what you can't comprehend and say. Okay? I love you to death, but I have no clue what the fuck you're saying, with all due respect. Tara, okay? Everybody else, head over to YouTube. Join us for the second half of the show. Search A2D Radio.
Yep.
Terry, don't get me all jazzed up.
Hi, folks. Bob Mannery here. You're listening to A2D Radio, real sports talk radio for the fans, by the fans, no agenda. These guys are the best in the business. Hashtag it. No notes.
And we are back on the second half edition of the Hooligans. I don't know why I just fucked that up. Brought to you by Skizana Sports Center, 5 Carnegie Plaza, Cherry Hill, New Jersey, 856-889-3434. Find them on the web at skizanasports.com, live from the Real Talk Studios here in Mount Ethan. We are back. And we are in Anything Goes, which means you can bring up anything you want. The family can talk about whatever they want, besides politics, because then I get heated.
Yeah, we can leave that out.
Yeah, we can leave that out.
We can leave that one out.
Yep. All right, Tommy. Let's talk about the Sixers a little bit. That was a great game last night. We played the Cleveland Cavaliers. They're coming in 2-14, and they completely rolled us. Like, it wasn't even a game. And then after the game, Joel Embiid says, I guess Tristan was right. They're the team in the East.
Did he say that?
Yeah, he did say that.
I missed him saying that. That's classic.
Yeah, he was like, Tristan said they were the kings of the East, so got to give it to him. But, yeah, I mean, it's the NBA. It happens. The Sixers were actually due for a bad loss, and unfortunately, you had to lose to a LeBron-less Cleveland team. But the Boston Celtics lost to the Knicks the other night, so it happens. You know, they'll bounce back. I don't know who they play next. I have to look that up. But yeah, the Sixers team's really good. We need another veteran presence, but at the same time, it does stink losing to a team you should beat. But what do you think?
Well, you know, yeah, you got to win that game. Like I think Brett talked about after the game. You know, it's not like you lose this game on the road. You lost this game at home, and you can't lose games like that at home. But then there's also the other side of it where you got to tip your cap a little bit because the team that shot 50% from three-point range, they can't shoot, and they didn't miss all night. So, you know, it sort of goes hand in hand. You know, I didn't think we had the energy that we needed last night. Yeah. But, again, it's still a young basketball team per se in a lot of spots, and you know, them kind of things happen. It's, you know, how do you figure out a way to game in, game out, keep your energy?
Philly Jim asks, is Fultz a bust? I will answer this first before he gets started, all right? I will answer this first. Yes, for a number 1 pick overall, I think Markelle Fultz is a bust. Do I think he's going to be bad forever? No. The problem is I think he's in his own head. And when you're at the foul line doing like this hot potato shit and like trying to find different strokes to make your foul shot, which is one of the easier shots to make.
It's free.
Yeah, it's free. I don't think that he's a bad player. I think he's in the wrong situation, which means I think we should trade him away because he's not doing anything here. He's not going to. He doesn't like playing in front of this crowd, and there's a lot of haters on him, and obviously it gets to him because he was laughing at Mark Cooper's celebration the other day. So obviously he was trying to make fun of himself, even though he probably thought it sucked. I just think you gotta cut your losses and trade this guy away.
Yeah, I don't disagree. You know, I said the other day I'm almost done talking about him until he drops 20 a night in this league because it's the same old story. You know, I just want to know what happened to the guy that I saw in college play.
Washington.
Yeah, or the guy I saw in the summer league. You know, he's nowhere even close to that. The confidence that he talked about is not there with him. He's a mental midget, and you know, when you're out again now and we're back to the shoulder again and we're talking shoulder again, it's like I'm done. You know, this team's in win now mode. It's not, even though they're babies and, you know, Joel and Ben are still really young, but they're in a win now type mode, especially when you know that Jimmy Butler's here for a year. You want to bring him back, which means you're going to have to win basketball games. And I think what they stopped doing was they said, you know what, we're not prioritizing this guy anymore. He's not our priority. We're not going to start him because we were earlier on in the year. We're not prioritizing him in any way anymore, and he's not even on their depth chart as injured. You know, he's just not playing. You see what I'm saying? So they're just like, do what you got to do, man. Go do what you think you got to do to get yourself right. But we're not worried about you with us trying to win basketball games right now.
Yeah,
makes sense. So we're not gonna concern ourselves with all your mental shit because we're trying to win. We're trying to win games. And all this just brings in a negative energy that we don't need. I know Joel's got his back. I know Ben's got his back. I know they talk about having his back. You know, I know TJ's got his back. I know a lot of guys.
They're teammates. They're perfect teammates.
That are good for him. but they can only do so much, obviously, for him. Like Charles Barkley talked about. Listen, you need to go see, like Charles talked about, I should have went and seen a sports psychologist for my golf swing. You know what I mean? Not because I'm a mental midget, because I had a hitch. I had a giddy up.
I can't go off.
Yeah, me either. You can practice it a million times, but like he said, if you're practicing bad fundamentals a million times, what are you coming out with?
Yeah.
Well, you're coming out with bad fundamentals. So you can go in the gym and shoot all you want, but if you're shooting with bad form or bad fundamentals, you're not gaining anything out of that. Yeah. So I think that's the thing right now where you got to go get it right before you can work on your game anymore. Well, and work on your craft. And I feel bad for the kid. I mean, it's his livelihood, and you see these things pop up, and they don't pop up too often. But this is one of the – and bus is like – I don't even want to use bus for it because it's the biggest mental situation that I think I've ever seen in sports outside of like a guy like Ryan Leaf who was just mental in his own head because he was a nutcase.
Yeah.
But, like, this is the biggest mental bust that I've ever seen so far in any sport.
Now,
I've never seen it at this level. Never.
Do I believe that he's in his own head right now? Yes, absolutely. I believe he reads everything in the media. I believe that
he's a 20-year-old kid. He's on social media all day.
You
know what I mean?
I believe he actually listens to the crowd. Because let me tell you something. I was sitting in box seats at the Suns game on Monday. Great. It was awesome seats. It was the first time I was ever in a box.
Yeah, it's sweet.
It was awesome. But when the crowd is cheering T.J. McConnell over Markelle Fultz, you got to get the fuck out of there. T.J. McConnell, I wouldn't even call him good. I'd call him maybe average, and you're cheering for him over your number one pick overall. That's bad.
Yeah.
That's really fucking bad. And if Markelle Fultz doesn't fix this shit right now, he never will. And I kind of feel bad for him. I know that Greg was saying I'm not feeling bad for someone that's making more money than we ever will. Understandable, but the guy is gifted. I saw him play in Washington, and he looked like a stud. He looked a lot better than what's his name up in Boston, Tatum. He looked a lot better than Tatum, and I just don't know what happened. Maybe the monsters from Space Jam took a soul away. Who knows? Who knows? And he's waiting for it to get back. But I feel bad for the guy. I really do. I want to see him succeed, but it's not going to be here. It's just not. He's given him everything he has here. Well, he hasn't, but I mean, he has nothing left to give here.
Yeah, and to your point that he reads everything. Yeah, he's a 20-year-old kid. He's on social media all day. And he can, sees the good and the bad, obviously.
Yeah.
And does that play a part in not helping him get over it? I'm sure it does. But, to our fans' credit here in Philadelphia, I think we were nothing but supportive and behind his back to start this season. And I think that goes for everybody. Like I said in the one video, like we gave a guy a standing O, the number one overall pick, right, and an NBA player, a standing ovation for shooting and making a three.
And it was an ugly shot, too.
So when the rumors came out from The Athletic that he wanted to change the scenery, and then Woj comes in and says, well, I don't know if that's necessarily true.
I think that's true.
I think it's true. Like, when there's smoke, there's fire, right?
Yeah.
Somebody said something. If he said it to a family member, said it somewhere, somebody, but something was said for that to even come out.
Yeah.
Right? And I believe it. I believe it was said because look at connect the dots.
No, and
connect him going out and all that to a change of scenery. You connect it. Of course that was said.
No, and then the whole offseason I was going back and forth with him like we always do. I was going back and forth with him. He was saying that we could get the top seed in the East. And I was like, we don't even know what Markelle Fultz is yet, and you're putting all this pressure on this guy. I think that's what happened with the whole town, putting all this pressure on this young kid that didn't look good in the playoffs last year. He looked okay in the latter part of the season last year. This guy needed time to mesh because he was coming off an injury. And I feel like our crowd was just too much for him, and he's never going to get over it.
Yeah, I mean, should go play in Atlanta.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Go play where nobody's at.
Phoenix.
There
you go.
Yeah.
Phoenix draws.
Yeah.
Hawks or whatever. Nobody cares.
But now we have Jimmy Butler, so I think we're a 1 to 2 seed contender again. But we cannot be losing to teams like Cleveland. We can't be doing that.
No.
You can't be.
No, but I think Parker said he's done talking about him, and he said Shamit's better than Fultz right now anyway. And
I hate Shamit.
That's true.
Shamit.
Philly Jim said who will be bigger in Philadelphia over the next 10 years, Carson or Embiid? That's a great one, dude.
Embiid.
Yeah, I'll go with Joe just because it's 5-on-5.
Embiid's a unicorn. He's a beast.
It's like, and Joel can't miss TV.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like when he talks, he can't miss TV. the way he plays. And Carson's the same way, but football's 11 on 11, right? So, I mean, it takes more guys for you to – it's easier to win in basketball consistently. Make sense? Mm-hmm. And you can see it by your powerhouses, right? They're always good. You coming in the year, Golden State's going to be good. Blah, blah, blah. Other teams are going to be good. So you sort of know that coming in with basketball. That's why I think year in, year out, if Joel Embiid's on the court, the Sixers are going to be a problem. So it's different. You know what I mean? Like Carson goes through for 40 touchdowns, right? Had the worst defense in football and be an 8-8 team because it's just so it's just the way it works. Like Joel Embiid has an impact on every play. Makes sense?
Yeah.
That he's on the court. It's just Carson has no impact defensively, or you know what I'm saying? So that's why I agree with that Joel will always be the bigger guy. I mean, football is bigger in this city, so Carson will always have that edge in terms of like trends. But Joel is just such a –
he has more control.
He just not that Carson doesn't relate to us because he does. Yeah. But just everything he says is just like I said. You laugh at everything he said like last night. Like Tristan Thompson said, like Kyle said. Tristan said they're the team to beat in the East. Well, I guess he's right. Blah, blah, blah. So like that's funny. Like nobody hurts more of a loss than Joel does. I know he does. But I mean that's funny. Carson ain't gonna say that shit because Carson ain't gonna make a joke out of a loss.
Carson's
you know what I mean?
North Dakota guy.
It's just two different guys. And Joel's always been a social media goat from day one, even when he wasn't playing. He was a must-follow on social. So I think that's why he'll always have the bigger, little bit of an impact.
He's like a Shaquille O'Neal type of player. Like, he has an impact. And he makes your team better immediately.
Who said they hate
I said I didn't like Schmidt.
I don't
like him at all.
Really?
I don't like him. I don't like Muscala.
I mean, I'm fine with whatever Muscala brings. You know what I mean? Like, the guy's getting moose calls when he's shooting threes now. Like, let's slow down. But I like Landry.
I
like Landry a lot because I think what you get is you can see what you get out of a 4-year college player, right?
I'd rather have Mikal Bridges. I would
over Landry Shamet.
Yeah, I think so.
Landry Shamet is third in 3-point percentage. And all around the NBA. So I
know Bridges just started getting minutes for the Suns.
Yeah, I don't know. Landry to me is better than Bridges, and you can not that Bridges wasn't because Bridges was, but you can see what a 4-year college player means to Brett Brown over how it is to implement younger guys. Like just in the whole NBA.
Yeah.
In college you take notes on it. Like you see a lot of these 4-year, 3-year college starters come out and they're ready to play. So. Do I think Landry's got a huge ceiling? I'm not going to go crazy and be like he's got a bigger ceiling than Fultz per se.
He was at Tech, right?
No, he was at
Wichita State.
Wichita State, yeah.
I thought he was at Texas.
Yeah, a little mid-major, but a 4-year guy.
Yeah.
Played in plenty of big games for Wichita State, but you can see it. Like his teammates are talking to him about we want you to shoot more. Guys are getting on to shoot even more. I think he's a really good basketball player. Do I think he's got this gigantic ceiling? I'm not saying that, but I think he can be a really good piece to a contender like us.
Right.
Like a really good bench piece because he's a double-digit walker. Make sense? He's a double-digit guy. Does he have all the flash and all the extra stuff? No. But he's really good and he can shoot the three. And when you're playing with Ben Simmons, and you saw it last night when Ben was aggressive, when you're playing with Ben, you're gonna get a lot of open looks. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And you got to be able to hit them. Muscala gets a lot of open looks. Landry gets a lot of open looks. And when you're playing with Ben, because he can't shoot, you need to surround him with as many just great shooters as you can. Yeah. And I thought the other night was telling on Landry because I think he was not the Cleveland game, but the night before he was 4 for 6 from 3 on a night where JJ was 0 for 7, right? And it was just like, man, you need that. You need it. That's why this guy's so important.
Right.
But yeah, Kyle, he's not like a flashy guy.
No.
Who's going to overwhelm you with stuff, but he's just solid.
Yeah.
Real solid 4-year starter. Solid, needs to work defensively obviously a little bit, but solid defensively, and when you're talking about TJ, I think why the fan base, a lot of them rally around TJ is just because of the way he plays.
Yeah.
It's nothing more than that. This guy was a Pac-12 Defensive Player of the Year twice, so he gets up in you. And I think that's why he relates here. And why he gets the ovation.
Like a Rocky type of
kid. Yeah, because he's going to be here, palms up, and he's going to make you work for everything. But besides that, anything else he gives you offensively is just a bonus. If he gives you 8 points, it's a bonus 8.
Right.
But yeah, I agree with you. I like Landry, so I agree with Parker. But yeah, he's not flashy where he's going to it.
Yeah.
Oh, you notice he's out there all the time.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Right. No, I agree.
He's almost he's a little Josh Hardish to me in a way. Just solid. You know what I mean? Like, I like Josh Hart a lot. I don't know Ralphie's sitting here, but I like Josh Hart for the Lakers a lot.
Yeah.
You know, I just think he's one of them guys you need to have when you're winning games. Mm-hmm. Because one, he's been in the dance. He's won national championships, so he knows what it takes to win basketball games at the college level. But he's also that guy who's played at a program for more than 1 year, so he has the seasoning. You know, but he was hurt. Not hurt, but he's hurt because he played fucking 4 years, college player of the year and shit. Yeah. And he ends up being a second-round pick, right? Yep. Wasn't he a second-round pick? Because that's why I hate this league sometimes.
Well, Mike Parker said,
That's why I hate basketball. I'm like, what, dude? You did everything right.
Yeah.
Everything.
Mike Parker says, I think Schmidt makes a decent run at Rookie of the Year. Be bold, hashtag.
No, Spuddy, you're right on. Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, look around the league. I mean, obviously, Doncic is probably going to get it. Because he's a pimp down in Dallas.
Yeah, he is.
But if Landry keeps up the way he's shooting the basketball, you can't run from numbers, or you can't run from at least being a top 3. You know, you're gonna be if he keeps this up, he's first team all rookie team, no question.
Shamit,
yeah, no question. TTP in the house. What's up, brother? He says, I think a couple guys forgot to take their pregame post-Thanksgiving shit before last night. Yeah. The only possible explanation for that loss. Yeah, TTP, you're spot on, brother. But this is what happens was, like me and Kyle were talking, they shoot 50% from three-point range last night. They can't shoot worth a lick all year. No. And when I was at the Orlando game in Orlando last Wednesday, not this
They make
Wednesday
their shots on us. Is that more of a defensive thing, or do you think it's more of a luck thing when people play?
Oh, I think it's just more of we get unlucky with that shit. Yeah. But when I was at the Orlando game, we're up like 18 points, and all of a sudden in the fourth quarter, like I wanted to start point blame like we were talking about before the show. They didn't miss.
Yeah.
In our Atlanta game. Like, nobody missed. It was a Terrence Ross burying fucking shots from like 42 feet away, like everybody.
And a Parker, DeAndre, he's a good player, man. He's big.
Who, Ayton?
Yeah.
Ayton?
Yeah, he's going to take some time to adjust to a shitty team, but he's a very good player.
I didn't like...
He's huge. Like, I was there on Monday.
I didn't like this draft as much as a lot of guys did.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm not a big I didn't know what Luka was going to be.
Yeah.
Just because you don't know what you're getting with the foreign guys sometimes.
Yeah, from the overseas
so you just
players,
never know. You know, you don't know how. I was concerned about his athleticism. I mean, he looked like he was a big-time athlete against other European guys.
Yeah.
But how's he going to translate to the best athletes in the world in the NBA? But he obviously has. Ayton, to me, I agree with you here a little bit because, and I agree with Parker. Mm-hmm. One, I think he needs a lot of work.
Yeah.
I didn't think he was like
work.
Yeah, I didn't think when I saw him in college that he showed up all the time.
Yeah, well, the tournament game, he disappeared.
You know what I mean? Yeah. And then it was like, so I don't even know if I would have taken him one. This year's draft was a weird one, which is sort of the way it works because next year it's loaded, right? Yeah. Next year you got 3 Duke guys going in the top 5.
It's ridiculous. So I wish we were in the top 5.
Well, we could be. You know, I got that Miami pick.
Yeah.
The Miami pick's unprotected.
Well, yeah, but isn't that 2022?
It might be 2020. TTP probably knows.
Yeah.
What is it, TTP?
21.
Is it 21?
It's 21.
What's next year? Was next year supposed to be the Kings?
Yeah.
That we traded
for Boston. Yeah.
Fuck. Boston, please.
Come on, De'Aaron Fox.
Actually,
come on, De'Aaron Fox.
The crazy thing is, Boston will have 3 first-round picks this year in the same draft.
Danny Ainge is a god, man.
Yeah.
He really is.
He knows how to do it, man.
Yeah. You know, Jada Goat's right on. He's like, Cleveland hit any type of shots, bro. You can't blame that on the Sixers. Now, Jordan Clarkson double clutching, burying threes.
Yeah.
Like Rodney Hood's playing like he played in Utah
when
last
Tristan
night.
Thompson, his whole entire career, never, ever attempted a fadeaway, and he's hitting fadeaways last night, you know it was a big trouble.
Well, anything goes, right? Anything goes. I love that segment, right? That's a great idea. So anything goes. Guys, is the Kardashian curse real? Like, I mean, like I hate to say it. Like, to me, it wasn't real towards Ben because I was like, you saw my post early in the game. Like, I'm like, who's this Ben Simmons? Like, he's posting dudes up on the block, like begging for the basketball, right, Ralphie?
Yeah.
And I'm like, holy shit. And then I noticed Kendall's in the house, and I seen him giving her a little. He went to the little heart tap after he made the one layup. He gave her a little heart bump, and I said, oh my God, this guy's playing like a dog with her out here. Bring her to every game, and then they lose the Cavs. Stay away.
To be honest with you, though,
little family affair.
I think Kendall out of the whole family is the most sane one.
Mm-hmm.
Out of all of them.
Oh, great.
And so
best looking one too. Honestly, Kylie's pretty good.
I'm not gonna blame her. I mean, it was funny. Like last night,
you gotta blame the name. It's not her. It's just the family tree.
Yeah. No,
you're blaming the tree.
Ex Lamar.
People had a meeting.
You're blaming OJ.
People had a.
True.
People had a meme of her last night, and she had this weird look on her face. She was like, "Why is Shamet hitting threes, but my boyfriend can't?"
Yeah.
That was funny.
Did you see the one we put out where it was Fresh Prince throwing her out of the house? And it's like, well, they call Ben the Fresh Prince.
Yeah, I love it. I love it.
That's
It's
awesome.
like, well, you can't make it up. Like I think TTP, you didn't get your pre-Thanksgiving shits out of the way, and you got a Jenner in the house.
Yeah.
So that's a Kardashian. So
it's a lost situation.
You know what they are, and you're right. Like I always felt like she's the most sane one out of all of them, and I have no problem with who Ben Simmons dates. Let me clarify that. I don't give a fucking rat's ass who you date if you come and play basketball. And I saw a guy last night with his girl in the house wanting to make a point. Like he's dunking down fucking 20 late in games. And like pimping his dunks. I'm like, this fucking guy's here. Like, but I'm like,
where's this every night?
I'm like, I want to be mad at him for that late in the game, but I'm like, he's probably the only guy who really played hard the entire game. So when I seen that, I was like, bring her out every game, and then they lose. I'm like, can't bring her again.
What is Jay the Goat talking about? He's like, what do y'all think about the Jimmy injury?
I don't know. What I'll tell you what it was and what I was worried about last night. The Flyers played at 1. Yeah. So when the Flyers play at 1, they got to flip. They
won, yeah.
They got to flip. They got to flip the arena.
Yeah, they got to put the court on top of the ice.
So every time that happens, the floor's always the floor's always a little slippery. Mm-hmm. And that Jimmy Butler, it's like I'm fucking Jordan Clarkson, my goddamn head. The Jimmy Butler when his legs came out from under him, he slid.
Yeah.
Remember that?
He's injured now.
No, I don't think he's injured.
Nah.
He just went to the locker room. He was probably just banged up a little bit.
I couldn't watch any of that game.
They were down 13, brother. So I just think they were down 13. He slipped and fell early on.
He went in the locker room with 26 seconds left, down by 13.
And remember, he got hit in the head earlier in the game, too. He got hit in the face.
Yep.
So by Sexton. So, I think both of them things were just like, I'm going to go get checked out here. I don't think it was like, he's banged up bad or anything.
Yeah.
They're going to get in and get checked out so I can get out of here quicker.
It's Philly. Jim's like, do you think anyone could beat the Saints? And TTP Ballin said, we're the Rams and Chiefs. And by the way, I hope the Chiefs gets to the Super Bowl because I would root for them because of Andy Reid.
Yeah, Andy deserves one. I know. I know we're hard on him and we're hard on Donovan, but Andy's a great coach.
He has a shot this year. He has the best QB he's ever had. So there you go. And that's funny because he had Donovan for 10 years. So Patrick Mahomes is on another level. The guy's a fucking beast.
Jada Ghost says LeBron would have sucked in Philly's system.
I don't think he would suck in any system. I think he's just a beast.
Yeah, I don't think
he's the best player the Lakers ever had. Give the guy a break.
Oh, God.
Nah, that's not true.
It's very true.
That's not true.
It's extremely true. Even Ralphie knows that.
No, because they had the most dominating player of all time.
Oh, come on. He was a ball hog.
No. We're on the wrong guy, brother.
Oh, not Kobe?
No.
Magic?
No. He had the most dominating player in outside of Wilt Chamberlain. The most dominating player in NBA history, not named Wilt.
Oscar?
No.
Kareem.
Who played with Kobe?
I said Kareem.
No, not Kareem.
Oh, you're going Shaq.
Stop it,
You're going
dude.
Shaq.
Shaq would chew Kareem up.
Shaq was kind of overrated.
Overrated?
Shaq would.
He's the most dominating player, not named Wilt Chamberlain in NBA history.
Yeah, but he was huge and he was big.
Okay, who? That's not his fault. That makes him the most dominating player.
Couldn't make foul shots. Couldn't make jump shots.
It didn't matter. He was dominant. He dropped 30 a night. You guys, short memories. Short memories.
I remember them kicking our ass in the finals.
Yeah.
That was the first series I've ever watched.
0-1.
But Shaq, come on, Ralphie.
Allen Iverson kicked your ass in one of those games.
Yeah.
So I'll
Game one. Game one in overtime.
We got one out of that. We shouldn't even got one.
That's another question I wanted to ask you guys. Who do you think is more Philly, Iverson or Dawkins?
AI,
yeah.
To me, because AI, listen, this is no disrespect to Brian Dawkins.
Yeah.
It's not even about Philly. AI changed the game of basketball.
He did.
In a couple ways.
Everyone loved him.
Not only you were at one point they put a zone back in the NBA. I don't know if you guys remember that, but you're allowed to zone again and stuff like that because of AI, because nobody could cover him one-on-one. All right, and then what he did for the NBA overseas, and what he did for the NBA for young kids, like he was what's the right word? He was
generational talent.
Generational, not only talent, but generational off the court figure-wise with cornrows and baggier shorts and the way you dress on the sidelines. Like then he had to put rules in on guys had to wear suits and shit on the side. Remember all that? Yeah. And had to dress nice. AI changed the game of basketball
if he was on this
for the
team,
better.
Yeah.
Okay.
If he was on this team right now, they would be finals favorites. Right now, him, Ben, Joel, Jimmy Butler. I think they'd be finals favorites. They'd have to be.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know how we get a deal done for Bradley Beal, for the people out there that are
want him. Yeah,
interested in Bradley Beal. I don't know how you get that done unless it's not a 3-team deal of some sort.
Yeah.
I feel you got to get a third team in there. I don't know how you get it done, but I said it on Wednesday, and I'll say it tomorrow and agree to disagree. We'll be live at won't be live by 10, actually, is the goal. Because the Eagles play at 1, so want to be with the family for at least 2 hours. So we'll have your pregame for the Eagles tomorrow morning. But like I said on Wednesday night, who the hell was I just talking about, Ralphie? Shit.
What are you talking about?
I lost my train of thought. Yeah, it happens.
Yeah.
Somebody will remember what I was talking about, because I don't.
No, I'll chime in tomorrow. I mean, I'll be at the tailgates, hopefully going for a win. But yeah, it'll be fun. But I know Tom has to get out here, so we'll wrap this up right now. And thank you for coming on, Tom.
Hey,
Ralphie again
me,
every single week, 1s and 2s. And we will see you next week. Scotty will be back. He's on vacation. And, that's it. Good show,
Good work, brother. Family, thanks for joining us. Greet us tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. Thank Gibson Mayer LLC.
Gibson Mayer LLC, thank you. Go get them.
And Specialized Physical Therapy LLC. Located Burlington, Cherry Hill, and Princeton, New Jersey. Dr. Paul Vidal, they get massages, everything up there.
Yeah.
So you got kids out there that are athletes.
The doc calls in every Sunday.
Yep.
Yeah.
The doc will be on with us tomorrow morning. So that'll be fun. Kyle?
Yep.
Great work, Daddy.
Good work. See you guys later. Bye.